Hey, what's up? This is Marcus with Future Studio University. Welcome to another video in our Happy series. In this video, I will show you how to apply multiple authentication strategies on a single route within Happy. So you might have the question why there is actually the option to have multiple authentication strategies. And let me show you this small use case. At Future Studio, we have a custom implementation for an URL shortener. So when writing tutorials some years ago, we used to shorten our URLs for tutorials because Twitter, the URL length should be as short as possible to not waste any letters and characters within the tweets. So we wrote this URL shortener and you can access it from within a access restricted web view from the platform, which is only available for us as admins, or you can use a tool called Postman. That is an HTTP client that you can use to request the API, but you need to provide an authentication token. It's a JSON web token. So you can either use the web platform and authenticate via session-based or a cookie-based session strategy, or you can use the JSON web token from an HTTP client. What fits you better? We both offered both options. So before diving into the details, you should know that you can find the tutorial for an easy read and you can code along with the code snippets. It's a tutorial on our website. Find the link in the comments below and check it out. All right, let's use the Futureflix sample app to implement a route that accepts two different strategies. Within the last video, you have seen how to set up basic authentication. In a future video, you will see how to set up cookie-based session authentication and a strategy that makes use of cookies to authenticate and remembers you as a user. So what you want is, let me explain it a bit more. When using authentication in Happy, you are creating different authentication strategies. They base on a scheme, and for the Futureflix application, we have the basic authentication strategy and the session authentication strategy. So you can use both to access routes that require authentication. And let's go for the user profile and let's change the current setting for the session-based strategy. So you can either use this approach like auth as a key and session as a value, or you can go like this for a single value. It's the same. So the other one is just a shortcut. So before we change it to multiple authentication strategies, let me show that this works in the browser. Let's go to Chrome. This is the start page of Futureflix and I'm going directly for the login. And let me just log in. Okay, so I have account. It's my local development setup. Of course, I have account. So let's log in. And you can see that our session-based strategies works. We can go to the start page. It's still recognizing that I'm logged in. Can go to the profile. I mean, there's just a headline and nothing more to see. And now let's get back to the route setup and update it that so basic and session-based authentication is allowed. Okay, what you need to set is a list of all the strategies that you want to allow for this route. Let me auto format. Then Happy will do the following. It will first try the session-based authentication, and if it fails, it will try the second one. But there's an issue. You need to check if you have a redirect to. With this setup and having this redirect to set, Happy won't check any other strategy afterwards because it redirects to the login, and then you need to comment this redirect to so that it ultimately can check the basic authentication. All right, let's start these. It's an iTerm. Let me kill it here. And let's get back to WebStorm and let's start with supervisor so that any change in the JavaScript files will be propagated later. and the hapi server will restart automatically, even though we don't want to change anything because that's the setup you are looking for. Okay, let's start. And let's check first. Strategy. Stop. Well, of course, I missed that you need to set the strategies key if you are defining multiple authentication strategies. That's very important. So let's start again and see if it's working. All right, that's what we expected. Okay, let's get back to Chrome and see if it's still accepting our cookie. Let's go around. All right, it's still working. So let's log out and log in again. Okay, that's fine and it works. Let's check the basic authentication with a tool called Postman. We will send a request from Postman to this URL, which is here, and see what happens if we set basic authentication. By default, so you can see that's an empty environment, we can set the URL, it's a GET request for the profile, we can send the request and there shouldn't be anything that comes back, or we will actually expecting a 401 unauthorized. And well, yes, it's unauthorized because we don't have the session cookie that we would need to, or that it's existing in the browser. And what we want to use is basic authentication. Let me type my credentials again. Update the request. Yes. Okay, you can see that the header is set and there's the value for the authorization. And let's send the request again. All right, so the status code is 200 OK. There's no distinction between client requests that accept JSON or HTML. It's just a reply view. That's why you're seeing the HTML reply. And you can see down here that there is the headline for your profile and nothing here yet. So it's exactly the same as this one. All right, so let's get back to the code and review what you've learned. To set multiple authentication strategies in hapi for a single route, you need to use the auth configuration object, the config auth, and then you need to provide an object which contains the key strategies, so it's a plural, and an array of authentication strategies that are available in your hapi server. And yeah, well, then you're defining the order that you're looking for. And with this setup, you're allowing different authentication strategies to access the route. And in this case, it's the profile page. I hope you like this video and learned something new, and you learned how to set up multiple authentication strategies for a single route. I hope you like this video, and if you do, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos on hapi, subscribe to the channel. There's definitely coming more on authentication and other things. We will extend the Futureflix repository and we will extend the Futureflix platform. We hope you have a nice day, enjoy coding and make it rock.